Hello and welcome back. My name is Dave and this is Fuzzee Tutorials. So I've got a quick tip for you today in DaVinci Resolve 16 Fusion. I'm going to show you some quick things you can do to keep stuff organized and speed up your workflow. And I'm going to show you one very important tip to know in dealing with bezier curves. And it's something that a lot of people miss, even the other professional YouTubers that do these tutorials like me miss this. So this is something you're going to want to stick around for at the end of this video. All right, let's get started. Well, thanks for hanging in there. So I've got my DaVinci Resolve open. What I'm going to do here is right click in my media pool and I'm going to select new Fusion composition and just leave it at the default name, and then I'm going to drag that into my timeline and then select it, make sure my playhead's somewhere over the middle of it, and we'll go into Fusion. Okay, so take my media out here and put it off to the side. So my first tip here is I'm going to right click, go to options, and now I like to use orthogonal pipes, and that basically makes the pipes create square corners, which I'll show you in a second. And I like to go to my arrange tools and turn on to grid, and that just helps me keep stuff organized. So if we were to put a few items on screen here just to show you. So if I pipe these in together, so now you'll see when I move them they automatically snap into grid positions and the lines stay nice and square. So if I was to go back into my options and go direct pipes, now the lines will go direct to them. So if we were to get a few nodes out here, a few text nodes here, so you can see things can get pretty messed up here in a hurry, especially when you start moving stuff around. So if we go back to our options and turn it back to orthogonal pipes and see how that neatens everything up. Now, I mean, it doesn't change how anything works, but for your own state of mind, it's probably a good idea to use some type of organization like this. It will make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, so let's get rid of a few things here. All right, so the first thing I want to talk to you about here is this node bar. So these are your basic commonly used nodes. The way that this system works is imagine that this is a tunnel that you're driving through. So everything is going to go in order from one side of the tunnel to the other. Your media out is where everything goes out to. So that will pipe everything you do back out into your other tabs, like your edit tab or your color tab. And I recommend that you always start a project with bringing in a background node, and let's just show it up on the viewer here. I'll open up dual screen. So, and if we look, you got two little squares here, and they represent the different screen outputs. So I have media out is set to this screen and background is set to this screen. Another way to do it is you can just take whatever node you want to view on a particular screen and just drag it to that screen. That'll set it there as well. Now if we go in here, we can change our color to whatever you want, but if you want to have whatever you're working on lay over top of another video with a clear background, then we just go down here and we take our alpha and we lower it down to 0, and you need to have your color set to black, otherwise you won't get your full transparency. So if we go up here and change it to white, you'll see that the alpha setting doesn't really matter. So we'll just drop that back down, and then we can pipe it into our media out. So now that they're piped together, you see any changes we make here will be reflected there. So if you're going to start adding some stuff to your project here, so we can take a text node and drag it out, and you've got a few different ways you can connect this. One way is you can take this over here. If you click on it when it's blue, it disconnects it, and you can drag it to your text input, and then the output is a little square. Every node has one, and then you drag it to your media out. So that's one way to do it. Another way is if you use your shift key, you can move them off and on the line. So if we drag it up here, let's just reconnect this line here. So if I want to put it in there directly, I can just drag it down, hold the shift key down, and as soon as that line turns blue, I let go, and now it's on the line, and it automatically puts in a merge node. So you won't always get a merge node, it depends on what you're dragging in. Now another way you can do this, let's just back that off. So if I take the output and I connect it to the output on the background, or whichever node you want to connect it to, it'll automatically connect it with a merge. And if you look at these little arrows here, you'll see one is green, one is orange. The green is your foreground, and the orange is your background, and the blue is a mask. I'm not going to get into how all that stuff works. That's not really the purpose of this tutorial. And if you want to just drag a merge out, this is your merge icon here. You can drag it out, and you can do the same thing with your shift key. You can bring it onto your line, and now you guys want to make sure that it's actually connected. I mean, it's easy to see here that's connected because you got the little arrowhead, but when you're working with a large project and you've got a lot of lines and nodes going on, it can get easy to miss. So that's just a little safety feature that I like to use. Now there are other ways that you can add nodes, and you need to know these other ways if you're wanting to add something that isn't on this bar. There's a couple of things you can do. You can either right click, go add tool, and then you could pick your tool. So let's say we wanted to put a blur node in here, and we can just select that, and then we could pipe it into our text node that way with a merge, or so we can just drag it in here with our shift key down until the line turns blue, and then double check that it's in there. So just to give you a quick sample of how to use stuff together here. Now we can go into our blur control, and we can change our size like so. So just pull that back out of there. Now I'll show you another way you can access stuff. You can go up to your effects library, and you can access your tools here. let's say I wanted to bring in a color corrector this way. I can do that. But another way to do that, and I find this one of the simplest ways, you just hold your shift key down and tap your space bar, and then you can just type in the name of the effect that you're looking for. So if we wanted our color tool, we can just start typing it in, and we've got all of our color tools here. And now if you look on the right hand side here, you'll see in brackets, this is actually shortcut text. So rather than having to type the whole thing in, you can just type that 2-letter or 3-letter combination and it'll get you straight there. So if I back this up here again and then put in CC, now it's already got it highlighted and I have less to choose from. So the more you use this and you learn those little codes and brackets, it'll make your life a lot easier. And I can just hit add. Sorry for all the noise outside there, folks, but people trying to get their last bike riding in before winter hits. We've actually already had snow, but then we had a bit of a melt. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to actually get rid of these here. And this is the final thing I wanted to show you. So if you're dealing with any type of Bezier curve, and this will work whether you're in the spline editor or whether you're working with polygon masks or something like that. So let's just drag a polygon mask in here and let's set a background color so we can kind of see what we're doing. And actually I'm going to put that on the other side here. So we're just going to actually pull that back out, and I'm going to set this into the mask. So let's just quickly go up here and draw a little polygon shape. Now I can go and grab any one of these points, and then I can turn this into a curve. Now you'll see we've got these Bezier handles here, so you can move these around and move them in and out to change the actual strength. But something that a lot of people don't know is that you can use a modifier key on your keyboard, which is the command key if you're on a Mac like I am, or the control key if you're on Windows, and then you can move that node handle independently of the other one, and that lets you get some much funkier shapes going on. So we'll just do this again. We'll turn that into a curve, and then hold our command key down, and now you can see that this can be very powerful indeed, being able to control these separately. I've seen a lot of people struggle with this. You know, I've worked with Bezier curves in other programs for 25 years, starting with CorelDRAW. So I knew that they should be changeable like that, so I just set about figuring out how to do it. And I do that in every program I ever use that has Bezier curves. So now you know the secret. So if you enjoy what we're doing here, please hit that like button. And if you want to watch more tutorials, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. So I'll pop up a couple of choices you can make for other videos. One will be playlist of other DaVinci tutorials, and the other one will be a video from my channel that YouTube thinks you might like. So thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.